by P.D. Eastman. Mr. Bird was so happy he had to say, "I love my house, I love my nest, in all the world my nest is best." Mrs. Bird came out of the house. "It's not the best nest," she said. "I'm tired of this old place," said Mrs. Bird. "Let's look for a new place now." So they left the old place to look for a new one. "This place looks nice," said Mr. Bird. But somebody else had already moved in. So they went on looking. "I like this one," said Mr. Bird. "I've always wanted a house with a flag," said Mrs. Bird. "Maybe this place will be all right," said Mr. Bird. "A mailbox." "You made too many mistakes," said Mrs. Bird. "I'm going to pick the next house. And here it is, right here. This is the place to build our new nest." Soon they had all the hay, all the straw, all the string, all the stuffing, all the horsehair and manhair they could carry. They took it all back to build their nest. It took them the rest of the morning to finish their nest. This nest is really the best," said Mrs. Bird. Mr. Bird was very happy too. He flew to the top of his house, and he didn't even see Mr. Parker coming. Mr. Parker came to the church to pull a rope. The rope went up to the bird's new nest. The rope rang the big bell right under Mrs. Bird's nest. Bong! 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 When Mr. Bird came in, all he could see was a mess. Where was Mrs. Bird? He looked high, he looked low, he looked everywhere for Mrs. Bird. He looked down into a chimney, but Mrs. Bird wasn't there. Then he saw a big fat cat. There were some pretty brown feathers near the fat cat's mouth. Mr. Bird began to cry. "This big fat cat has eaten Mrs. Bird." Mr. Bird flew off. "I'll never see Mrs. Bird again," he cried. It began to rain. Mr. Bird could not see where he was going. Crash! Mr. Bird bumped into something. It was his old house, that old house that Mrs. Bird hated. Mr. Bird went in, and there was Mrs. Bird, sitting there singing. "I love my house, I love my nest, in all the world this nest is best." "I thought you hated this old nest." Mrs. Bird smiled. "I used to hate it," she said. "But a mother bird can change her mind, you see. There's no nest like an old nest for a brand new bird." And when the egg popped open, the new bird thought so too. The Best Nest by P.D. Eastman.